First of all, Mr. Ford, thank you so much for your time. Amazing job on this film. Now, I remember reading Call of the Wild when I was in the 8th grade, and this brought back a ton of memories for me. This was obviously a Jack London book, and it was adapted into a movie, I believe, in 1935. What was it about Chris Sanders' vision that brought you on board for this version of it?
Well, it was Chris's version. It was the script that I first read by Michael Green, who I've worked with a number of times, and the opportunity to tell the story. I also read the book as a student, and was moved by it, but I hadn't revisited it for 40, 50
Sure.
years. So I reread the book, and I thought it was really an interesting movie to make. I love making family films. They've been really important in my career. The Star Wars and Indiana Jones
Sure.
movies have passed on from generation to generation when the kids become age appropriate to see them, and that has introduced me to new generations of film goers,
Sure.
and that's been very, very, very good for my career. So I'm always happy to have the opportunity to find a family film that I think can enjoy making.
You know, one thing I love about this film is how they give Buck this kind of like cartoonish look, but mainly because it's in facial expressions, mainly because it really humanizes Buck. But I know that you guys had a stunt performer that was playing the role of Buck. Can you talk to me about how that helped inform your performance in the film?
Well, he's a former Cirque du Soleil gymnast. He's not a stuntman. He's an actor, and his specialty has been working with Andy Serkis and others to play animals.
Gotcha.
And so he's quite experienced in motion capture circumstances. And he was our Buck. Buck doesn't talk. He's spoken to, and that's how we communicate the information that's necessary to follow the story. But emotionally, Terry Notary, which is his name, Terry was a place for me to direct not just my eye line, but my emotional energy, and get back a reaction to my emotional energy. And he was invaluable in the process, and he is really talented and a wonderful person to be with.
It was an amazing performance. I'm sure you guys both knocked it out of the park. So you save Buck a few times, and Buck saves you a few times. Can you talk to me about the relationship between man and canine?
Well, I can only tell you about my own experience and refer to the film. I've always had dogs.
Same.
They've always been rescue dogs. I've never
Same.
paid more than a kennel fee, to a rescue. And they've always been important. I've always had kids. My eldest has just gone off to college. My youngest, has just gone off to college. So, but we've always had dogs, and they've been really important in my kids' lives, and they've been really important to my life. And I think part of the comfort they give us is because it's tactile. They have this lovely fur that we like to run our hands through. They're warm little living creatures, and they're defenseless, basically. And so they respond very directly and simply to our moods, to our behavior, to our attention, and they become very loyal companions.
Absolutely.
In the case of Buck, his story and mine knit together to allow us both to serve as part of the process of redemption for us both. I'm allowing him to reach his destiny, unencumbered by human demands, by ownership.
Right.
He's going to hear the call of the wild, and I'm going to take away from our relationship the confidence to go back and clean up the mess I left behind when I came to the Yukon, not to seek gold, but to seek solace and isolation.